guide us in decisions that we will make tonight that will be beneficial to the city of Troy. Amen. Turning to pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, I'd like to say thank Ms. Baker and the council members for doing an outstanding job about passing 2 weeks ago. Okay, first on the agenda tonight, we need to show that all council members are present except for this motion. Next, we need to review and approve our council minutes from our last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as read?
Made.
We have a motion by Ms. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Holland. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Abstention? Aye. Next on the agenda, we need to approve the agenda as stated, but we need to mark out item number 8, resolution 2023-60, that service agreement with Troy Housing Authority. That will be brought up at a later date. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the deletion of that one item? Somebody have a motion by Mr. Davis. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Baker. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Committee reports. The council members met at 4 o'clock upstairs to have a work session. All members were present except for Ms. Moultrie. And I think that was all the report we have tonight. And then next on the agenda is resolution 2023-58, fiscal year 2023 safe streets and roads for all grants program. Ms. Sanders.
Good afternoon. This resolution authorizes the city to submit a grant application for the fiscal year 2023 Safe Streets and Roads for All discretionary grant. The City of Troy's grant application will be an implementation grant similar to the one that we submitted during the last round, but we are making a couple of improvements to the grant application, including adding $100,000 of supplemental planning grant funds relating to research and preparation of the complete streets plan. The grant project includes 7 different projects: North Knott Street, Hubbard Community, South Knott Street, Fifth Street, Connector, Secrets Community, Pedestrian Signal Heads Project, and a Rolling Flashing Beaches Project. The grant is an 80-20 grant based on the current total estimate of $2,899,400. The local match will be $724,850.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Sanders?
What's the deadline for this?
The deadline is right before the next council meeting.
And Mayor, discuss your recommendation also.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I have a motion to approve resolution 2023-58. Got a motion by Ms. Holland. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Davis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carried. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank Ms. Sanders for all her hard work preparing this.
As always. Next on our agenda is resolution 2023-59, emergency repair from the industrial well change order. Mr. Chapman.
Yes, sir. A couple meetings prior, y'all approved the emergency bid repair for our industrial well. That estimate was based on replacing approximately 50% of the water column and the piping parts in there. That's the standard way to do it. Unfortunately, when they got it out and got it inspected, they found there was more damage and corroded it needed replacement. So they came up with a change order to provide the additional equipment. There was some additional time included in this. It's going to take longer to put all this back in the well. They also had some support cables and things that were in the well that had to be removed and straightened out. There was some additional time. So this change order will add an additional approximately $107,000 for the well, pretty much all of that is parts, that's replacing all of the columns of piping from the motor up top, all the way down to the well, just based on the condition, it's been a long time since this well is cool, something that we need to do to get this well back in service. And that unfortunately, until they got it out and they expected that, took it apart, we didn't have any idea that it was going to need this much repair.
Any questions, Mr. Chairman? I have one,
Yes, sir.
just state to let the public know that we're not in any jeopardy with our water supply.
Yeah, we're not, we're fortunate, we have plenty of water here in Troy, and so this well has been offline for a couple of months, and unless we pay attention to the council meeting here, none of us would have known this had not had affected the water, the quality of water, the volume of water. So we're still good, even going into summer, we're still in good shape, no issues, no shortages, no restrictions, no problems. It is something that we do need to go and get fixed, to make sure we've got, plenty of capacity, as we get into the drier months, or in case something happens with another well, no issues or shortages with water supply whatsoever. So.
Any other questions? Mayor, this comes from your recommendation also.
Absolutely, we need to get it fixed, and again, y'all approved it, it was a little more money, and I always, think it's always best practice, when there's this much money involved, to bring it back, and make sure y'all are aware, we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2023-59?
So,
We have a motion by Mr. Davis, do we have a second? Second by Ms. Baker. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it very much.
Next on our agenda is ordinance 445, amending the chapter 4, articles 2, control of dogs, and this will constitute our second reading for this ordinance. Chief Ball.
Yes, sir, this is just amending the animal control ordinance. The changes in this are very minor. Previously, the ordinance read the dog were on a leash or not, and under the immediate control of the owner. Now reads that the dog must be on a leash and under the immediate and effective control of the owner. The next change, if a dog is taken to the shelter and picked up, if the owner picks up that dog within a 24-hour period, there's no fee. Recover that dog after that 24-hour period, and before the end of the 7 days, that fee would be $45, which just covers the vaccination and one we would have to have to remain at the shelter so that we don't have any other dogs sick. After that 7-day period, the adoption fee, that animal will be placed up for adoption. The adoption fee now is $125. That covers all vaccine and vaccination year. After that, the change is over on the last page are penalties. Currently, it read, first violation of the calendar year, second violation of the calendar year. Calendar year has been replaced by a 12-month period. That's so if we had somebody had a violation in December, mid-December, that would count as first violation. If they got another one in January, that would still be a first violation under the old ordinance. Under the current ordinance, it should change to be within a 12-month period. That second violation in January would be the second violation within the 12-month period. So those are much needed changes to the ordinance. And that completes the change.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions for Chief Ball? If not, do we have a motion to approve ordinance 445, amending chapter 4, article 2, control of dogs? We have a motion by Ms. Baker, we have a second.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Holland. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any extension? The motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Next on the agenda is,
Can we just for the record, now, when does this become effective?
Once it's published, I will try to get it in the print for Saturday.
Okay. All right, so once this is published in the paper, this is law.
So it's important for everybody to understand that, and I think most people think this already, but if you are out off of your property, you have to have your dog on a leash. If it is not on a leash, then animal control and PD will enforce that. And just want to make sure that everybody understands that once this is printed in the paper, it becomes law. So, thank y'all so much, and we'll take care of it.
Thank you, Mayor, for clarifying that issue. Okay, next on our agenda is the appointments. We have one appointment that needed to be made tonight to the SDA board.
Mr. Chairman, I understand that we do have an appointment for the SBA board, and our chair has been representing the city and representing the city well, from what I understand, so I would like to make a motion that we reappoint Mr. Meeks to the SBA board as the city representative.
We have a motion by Ms. Baker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Ms. Holland. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is mayor's comment.
Thank y'all for reappointing Mr. Meeks. It's been a pleasure to serve with him on that. We've got a lot going on with Southeast Energy Authority. It's a very dynamic, sort of cutting-edge organization that's very helpful to people really all over the country. And so look forward to serving with you for the remainder for the next few years. Won't be too long, but I think it's really important that we talk about what a great group of folks that we had that responded to the bad weather. Our utilities department has always responded well, did everything they needed to do to get everybody on as safely and quickly as they possibly could, and then turn their attention to help our neighbors, and that was a great thing. We've helped people for years in many places, and to be able to help our neighbors with South Alabama Electric, who had a lot of trouble. We were just so glad to be able to do that. South Alabama Electric, Power South have been partners of ours in so many things through the years, and so it hated that they had so much outage, but was so glad that we could be of assistance when it came to that. Our Public Works Department not only had to work through the storm with the help of public safety and all of that, but once the storm's over, the debris comes and they picked up, and then more debris was brought out. They even worked this past Saturday to continue to get everything picked up. I mentioned to y'all upstairs that Shelby got a note from someone who said they had lived in 4 different cities in Alabama, and this was by far the best service that they'd ever received in that type of situation. And so very appreciative of that. And as I mentioned, our public safety folks, fire and police, just always Johnny on the spot, Johnny and Jenny on the spot, I guess, always there to help and to keep people safe and protected. And so just very impressive. I'm very appreciative of that. We did some good things tonight. We'll get that well straightened out. As y'all know, we had to do Berry Road a while back, and nobody, that's a great thing that the ratepayers through y'all have given us the resources to make sure that we got everything that we need and can keep it going. And so we'll get that taken care of. Unless there are specific questions, I would like to invite the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Smith, to come in here and talk to us about some incredible 6-year-old girls and several other groups that are in the process of doing some things. So
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, our 6 and under Sweeties, a softball for 6 and under girls, won a state championship over Eufaula. And first reaction for everyone is 6-year-old girls. That can't be a softball. But to watch them play is amazing. And the same for the boys, because the coaches do such a great job. And I've had conversations with a number of people today that we believe that these teams at an early age, while they're having fun, they're also learning a lot of the fundamentals that help in the foundation for future programs for high schools and such. So they've done really well. The 6 and unders, they've qualified to go to a World Series in Alexandria, Louisiana. That begins July 28th. This upcoming July the 8th, it's a Thursday, we're hosting an 8 and under boys state tournament out at the Troy Sportsplex. And it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And at the same time, we've got a 11 and 12-year-old Ozone team that goes to the state in Dothan, a 9 and 10-year-old team that goes to the state in Greenville, a Dixie Boys 13 and 14-year-old team that goes to Opelika for state. We also have 3 other girls teams that go to state in Eufaula, being the Darlings, which is 8 and under, then the Ponytails are 11 and 12, and the Bells are 13, 14, and 15. And this is one of our favorite times of the year because, as Mayor Reeves calls it, community baseball, and they wear the word Troy on their chest. And it's this past weekend, we were in Montgomery, and Eufaula, and Dothan, and seeing these other cities and playing with them and against them. And it's just a great time to be a part of this community. And we're proud of all the young people and their families that support what we do. And I want to thank y'all all very much.
And they do an incredible job representing us all over. And we're going to have a fireworks show on July 4th, aren't we, Dad?
That's what I hear, yes, sir.
You don't have enough to do.
July the 4th, 8:30 p.m. is when we'll have the fireworks show will begin. The viewing area is, of course, there around the stadium, inside the stadium, Veterans Memorial Stadium. But talking before tonight's meeting, there's people in Banks and beyond that have on high elevations, that it's an annual tradition. They'll watch the fireworks from well outside. And there's a number of places where people can watch in their front yards. And I cannot thank the mayor and the city council for supporting the fireworks program, because it's something that I think our community really enjoys, and a lot of patriotism is felt during that week, and it's something, a tradition that Troy has done for many, many years. Thank you.
And we appreciate all of you and your staff.
Yes,
we know this is the busiest time of the year for y'all, and I know y'all are going in a million different directions, but it's certainly appreciated not only by us, but by the entire community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
I'll be glad to answer any questions that y'all have.
Do we have any questions for the mayor? Next up will be mayor's comments. Ms. Hall? Council members' comments. I'm sorry.
Just to remind District 1, this is our last week for our District 1 cleanup. If you've got debris that still needs to be moved, that the wind hasn't already shook loose down around, we've got till Friday. Is that correct, Sheldon? Okay. And also just to bounce off Mayor Reeves, just the appreciation for our public safety, our public works, our rec department, everybody just coming together and keeping our beautiful city beautiful and safe, with many things to do for our children. And I do want to thank the rec department for their support with Washington Park. The attendance down there isn't quite where I would like to see it, but they still continue to ensure that that park is available and activities are there for the children that are participating and accommodating them, as well as when the weather is not so well, by bringing them out to the rec and showing them a nice time during the day out there. So I thank you all so much for what y'all are doing for our great city. And beyond that, as you've said it all.
Mr. Davis.
Well, I certainly want to wish everyone a happy July 4th. Enjoy and stay safe. Please attend the fireworks show that we were talking about, and the other activities have been great. One thing I would like to say is that this past Saturday, they had a music fest downtown. And I'd like to just thank all of the employees for the planning and putting all that together and then working that night. It was well attended. A large group was there. And so I would just like to let everybody know the businesses, as you walk around, some of those stayed open late, and there were people shopping, and the restaurants where there was a line, you just had to wait in line to get into the restaurants that was around the square. So that's huge, and thank the employees for doing that.
I'll echo all of my colleagues' comments and only add this. I did talk with Mr. Tuck last week, and just a reminder to our citizens, when you are gathering debris in your yards, that it doesn't need to go in the street. It needs to go at the street or on the curb, but it needs to remain in your property for a variety of reasons, but it does make it easier for our public works to be able to pick that up if it's at the street and on your property, and certainly for vehicles that are getting by in more narrow streets or busy streets, certainly if we need to have emergency vehicles to go through. So just a reminder to not put it in the street.
Ma'am, first of all, I'd like to remind people, District 2, our cleanup month is the month of July. And I will agree with all of my colleagues, we do have the best city employees anywhere around, no doubt. And I wish everybody a happy 4th of July. With that, we'll have a motion to adjourn. Thank y'all. Thank you, ma'am. I've been saying that. Thank
We know what you're talking and we survived all that.
Exposure to the city. Let somebody thinking their loved one who just had a heart attack was going to get transported and the guy on the road breaks down and the medical care and the patient is dead. We have closed the gap, that's for sure.
I don't have our things on us.
Good to see you. Yes, sir.
I signed that.